Hi, Marine Sky, Crafty Sky Lady coming at you. That's right, you, my subscriber. I'll put my glasses on. I'm in my car, obviously. And the girl is on her way to Vermont to do shopping at the Price Chopper up there. So I thought I'd do a video. Take you along with me. Not sure what we're going to talk about, but I always find something, right? Okay. Backing out. Nice day, sunny day. I thought the forecast said rain, but it's nice today. And I was debating whether to go today or tomorrow. But like Eddie said, go today. I'm getting out a little bit later than I wanted to, but that's the story of my life. We'll go there. So anyway, yeah. I'm wearing a blouse that's new to me, but a thrifted blouse, and I just love it. I got it for 99 cents, and it's a roughly very thin type of 3/4 sleeves with ruffle that's kind of a purpley print. I'll show it to you more closely, but I just love it. And I knew it would be pretty. I got a shirt under it because it's very thin, but the way I dress even through the winter is a little different at times from other people, only because with the all the meds I take, I'm usually always hot, so I dress a little more, and the furnace is always running hot for Eddie. So I tend to dress a little more on the lighter side with tops and stuff. And then if I get cold, I'll put like a shawl on or something around the house to fit. And so, and like today it isn't really cold. So, my God, this car is like up on my butt. Going to Vermont, they're in a rush. Anywho, so this is a more lighter top, but like I said, I put a shirt under it, so that's how I dress. I keep looking at gifted items, which you can get a lot for $30. But anyway, it's not my plan to go there and spend a lot of money, but it's one of those instances, being an eBay reseller, if I see something I just can't live without, or I know it's a money maker on eBay and I don't have to pay a lot for it, I will pick it up, right? Yeah. So I haven't been this way in a while. I got thinking the other day of when my daughter lived up here in Springfield, Vermont, how often I would come up here, like 2 or 3 times a week at least. It's an hour's ride one way, and yet I have not been up there. I'm not going that far, but I have not been up there in a long time, and they moved in August, so I haven't been since August at least. I want to say possibly I haven't been since July, and that's weird too, when you were going there all the time. But anyway, life changes, time marches on, right? That's kind of where I'm at today. Yeah. Here's a funny story for you. Do you ever have in your life an instance where somebody that you were very close to growing up, even say a young kid friendship, or teenage years, or even adulthood, somebody that you befriended who you thought you'd be friends with forever, and then something goes awry, and the friendship dissolved in a rather bizarre way, and it still puzzles you to this day, and yet it is what it is. I have an instance that I'll try to share what I can remember, because this was a while ago. but I'll take you on that little story journey as being a storyteller that I am. So, as a little girl, my parents moved a lot in the before owning our own home days, where they were renting here and there, different apartments in different towns, all through this area, Franklin County, Massachusetts. So, like I said, before they actually bought any of their own homes. So, and even then, we still sold and moved. But anyway, as a little girl, just, early grammar school years, elementary school years, I want to say probably 7 years old, I befriended a girl in the Turner's Falls, Massachusetts area. We were living on the second floor apartment, just off of the Avenue A on one of the other streets called 3rd Street. Anyway, she lived in back of us, this girl, in a brick building. Her parents were renting an apartment too. Her parents were a little bit older couple, and she had a sister and a brother that I can remember, and they were older. They were like in their teens when she was just a little girl, so there was quite a few years difference between her sister, brother, and her. And they were, the last name was a Polish name, and I don't remember what the father did for work. I want to say maybe he worked in an outfit. So I used to like to go there and play with her toys and stuff, things that I didn't have because I'm the youngest of 4 and close in age, and both parents worked, but we really didn't have a lot of frivolous extras, let's just say. So toys were of the minimum, and you had to share them. So it was fun to go to other kids' homes where they were the only child. I had a cousin too who was like that. We loved going to his house at Christmas time because he got all the cool new toys and we got to play with them. But anyway, so that was the case here. I liked going, playing with her toys. And so then she was a year or 2 younger than me. So then when she started her schooling years, I used to walk with her and her mother once in a while up to our school. So that was another memory of walking with her. And I remember I was always so jealous on Tuesdays or Wednesdays or whatever day it was when she wore her little brownie outfit uniform, because I wanted so desperately to be a brownie. And that was one of the things my mother said no, because we couldn't afford it. The price of the outfit and the uniform, and then, the fees or whatever it cost to be a brownie. That was a no-no. And I remember how hurt I was, and that was a good little cry going back in my bedroom and crying over that, because I really wanted to be a brownie. And those are the little things that define you, even as a little kid, to not be included in something that all the, other, 2/3 of the class are wearing, the girls are wearing those little outfits one day a week, and then they would meet with their brownie leader after school or whatever. But I mean, the little hats and the little sash, it was all so cute, and it represented a status. And you knew it even then as a little kid. So, yeah, I can remember being isolated out and feeling poor and feeling that feeling and feeling, those are the things, I hate to say it, I loved my parents and everything, but shame on them, because those are the things that really matter growing up that like I said, they define you. They develop your personality. They mold who you are and who you become and what you're thinking. And little kids aren't stupid. They know. You know stuff. So anyway, that's one of the things. I was always a little jealous of anyone who was a brownie, because I couldn't be a Girl Scout and a brownie. So anyway, go over to her house on the daily, play with her toys, play with her for a couple hours, a good number of days a week and weekends. She was right in back of our building. So this went on for a couple of years while we lived there, and I kind of considered her my best little friend. And so we moved, and I can remember even writing her letters and talking about, getting stung by a bee or something, or she got stung by something. I remember, and little stories back, and when she would write back. And so as we moved to other towns, I would write to her every couple of months. I'd write her a letter, and I would get one back, and that was fun. So, let's see, red berries. Yeah. So anyway, there's more. There's a lot through here. Wow. I didn't know that. I might have to come and get some. That's probably what they're doing. I say that every year and yet I don't. So anyway, we moved around, we grew up, and then the letters stopped. Life happens. Now I'm a teenager, and I would see her like maybe at the fair, the local Franklin County Fair, things like that, and that was fun, and we'd say hello and everything, but obviously you lose touch. Okay, so then, but I still always considered her my friend during those years. So now I'm an adult, I'm married, I have children, I have a home, and I soon find out as my kids became toddlers and needed childcare, and I sent them to childcare right down the road from where we lived to this nice couple who the woman was doing childcare, and he was a beekeeper and things like that. They have since passed on, but anyway, during that time she took in quite a few kids during the day. Well, she took in my two kids. I had a boy and a girl, and she took in this girl's daughter, who was again a year or two younger than, or maybe about the same age as my daughter at the time, and my son was a little bit older. Okay. So they're all in the same childcare afternoon little program at this lady's house. And I didn't even know that this girl lived near me, very close to me, till the kids started going to daycare, and I learned that her child, because I would see her come and go, but she wasn't all that friendly now. I mean, just very, dismissal, not really saying hello, kind of brushing me off. And I realized, I learned soon thereafter, that it was because she lived in kind of a nicer home, bigger, just across the road from me. I could see the back of her home, back through a backyard anyway. And there we are in our house that had been being renovated. My husband was always doing something but would never finish. So you're looking at, like I would say in other clips, about the black tar paper on the side of the house, and if we had a bad windstorm, the wind would take it and it's blowing off and flapping in the wind. Or the living room area, which was an old porch that he was starting to build to make it an addition to our living room, but again never got finished. So you're looking, and then we were also resellers, so we started getting into the reselling. So we would pick up little pieces of furniture and things, and we would have tag sales in the good weather on our property. So a lot of the tag sale furniture got stored in that little added room that never got finished. You can imagine what it looked like from the outside. Oh yes. So there was all that. So I guess to her we looked like the, you know, Beverly Hillbillies kind of living on Hillside Road behind her, and that wasn't suitable for her, so she shunned us and frowned upon, you know, being friendly with me again. So but she knew my kids went there, but she, like I said, I wasn't getting hellos or little conversations. She just would walk right by me when we would go to pick up our kids, and I would get the cold shoulder. So I kind of got the gist that I was no longer good enough for her friendship because of the house I lived in. That's kind of how I read into that, wouldn't you? So anyway, I couldn't figure anything else out. There was no reason, and the kids were all being decent to one another, I guess. But the lady's daughter would help her. She was like in her 20s. The daughter would be in the house too and help mom with all those kids. She was, you know, they were like a team with the daycare. So this daughter really liked this little girl and was close to her like a daughter. So this little girl got a little extra favoritism, and my kids would come home and tell me that. And so at one point I had a conversation primarily with my daughter, who was telling me that this girl's daughter would get special privileges, and they always got blamed for something that went wrong, my kids, and not this girl. She never got any punishment or whatever. So I just explained to my daughter, you know, kind of let it go. But I can tell you that growing up with, and I had befriended the mother, and we were good friends. I said she was a little spoiled too. She was doted on, being that many years difference between her sister and brother and this and that, and her parents were older. So I said she was a little spoiled. So, you know, maybe the little daughter's getting the same treatment that the mother had growing up. Anyway, I don't know, but I just made that some kind of a conversation like that. Well, my daughter, you know, a week or so later, I find out that there was a little kerfuffle, like Judge Judy would say, a kerfuffle at the daycare. I don't know all the particulars, but the gist of it was that this girl, again, was getting special privileges and not getting punished, and my kids were, and this and that, and they used to have to take a nap at a certain time every day, and this girl didn't have to, things like that. So anyway, there was a little discussion over the kids, and my daughter said something in reference to the conversation I had with her about, well, my mom said that your mom was really spoiled, and this something came out. So anyway, the little girl goes home and tells her mother something, and now the mother's mad as heck and has a temper, and and so the little girl and my daughter had a little argument and exchange of words, and it got ugly, and I guess the daycare providers had to get involved, and it was a little ugly or whatever, but I don't think they were hitting each other. I think it was more verbal words, but nothing bad, just a couple of kids saying stuff what they learned from their parents. So anyway, I'm now at a ball game, my son's ball game, Little League, and this mother is mad, and nobody, confronts her little girl or whatever with, ugliness or whatever, I don't know. So she wants to talk to me, and she wants me to apologize to the little girl and her daughter, whatever. And I'm sitting with my mother and some other people watching this ball game. And I think it was even like a special game, like one of those tournament games. So I really wanted to watch it and not be disrupted by all this foolishness. So, and you know how kids will get in little kerfuffles with words, or, you know, saying sassy things or whatever. And you kind of have to, you know, be on it, but yet overlook some things because they're kids. But anyway, so I'm trying to do that. I'm trying to be the bigger person and try to explain to this lady that, you know, where is she? I'll apologize if you really need me to, but, you know, this is kind of an awkward time. I'm trying to watch this very important ball game that I came to see, and this and that. Anyway, she's not liking that. She to this day, this girl, if I saw her, she hates me. And I'm like, what did I ever do to you to make you hate me so much? All I did was marry and live in a not so desirable house, you know, renovated home that, you know, needed renovating all the time. But, you know, that's another whole story. But it wasn't necessarily 100% my fault, you know, but my kids were clean and hygiene. On their report cards, they got some of the better hygiene marks than some of these other kids who lived in the desirable homes or whatever. So, I mean, they got a bath every night, and their sheets got changed when they were supposed to, and I vacuumed and kept a clean house. And they had good food on the table, the best that I could provide, and they were well cared for. And so, anyway, and I gotta make sure I know where I'm going. I haven't been up here for a while. And so, anyway, yeah, my mother couldn't quite figure it out either. We're all scratching our heads. What the heck is this all about? I said, you know, I don't know. Evidently something made this girl mad, and I'm the culprit, and, you know, here we are. And so anyway, that's my story about that this girl hates me. And you know, I thought a lot of her growing up. For the most part, she was my friend. And I'm a friendly person. I'm a nice person. But you ever had situations like that? I'd love to hear from you and comment on, you know, or tell a story. Tell me your story of what went wrong, you know. Because I know we have them. I know we all have something. But this one was bizarre to me. I couldn't figure out what I did. Gotta go in here. To personally hurt this girl so that she had to treat me like that, and my kids like that, like they were nobodies, you know. I'm gonna go right here. I'm at my destination. Experienced Goods. It's a thrift store. It's a nice one. I don't know if they let you take the cameras in. I would love to do that. I'd love to be like some of these other people on YouTube where they, you know, do the thrifting and they take you with them. And I've gotten pretty good. I know what I'm looking for and what to pick up and what not to pick up. And I find some unique stuff. I got some unique stuff the last 2 times I went out. So I would love to have that be my subject matter someday. But I've got to ask and find out if they're not for filming or if they care. I gotta do some research on these little stores that I frequent and then take it from there. But the couple of times I've tried I had no problem with the store. They saw me and I was talking into the phone and all the camera. But it's more me. I wiggle it all over the place, and I'm not steady with it, and it does. It's what I'm doing. I would need one of those, probably like the little GoPro camera or something like some of these people use. I would need something like that, maybe. Maybe that's something to think about for the new year. I'll look into that. But I'm here, and I'm going to go in there and see if I'm looking for a couple little Christmas things that I can get on quickly. But again, they gotta be good, and they gotta be, all of that. Oh, the blouse I wanted to show you is so pretty. See the colors in that? Isn't that pretty? And it's roughly collar. And it's got the sleeves with the ruffle. And it's just buttoned down, very thin. I forget that brand. But I just love the print. And, yeah. And, my necklaces. But I love it when something I picked out works out good. And I got it for a steal, right? And it looks good with the earrings, and yeah. I'm a styling. I don't care how much. That's what you're seeing, folks. But anyway, I'm getting in there. I love you. Thank you for joining me. If you're new here, welcome. We have fun here, don't we? Think about subscribing. Come back. Add comments. I love your comments, and I love knowing where you're from. And we're gaining in numbers, and that's a good thing. And I got different topics. I enjoyed my little story with you today. Let me know if you've got circumstances like that in your life that are a bit of a puzzle. You can't quite figure it out, but it is what it is. And it hurt you or did something to, abolish a friendship or whatever, but and it still puzzles you to this day what you did wrong or what went wrong in the whole situation. So anyway, like I said, I love you, and until we meet again, I certainly hope the universe provides. I truly do. Thank you now. Bye-bye. Watch for the next update. I'll probably do a video showing you some of the goodies I got if I see anything, which I'm sure I will. This is a great store. But again, I'm not supposed to spend much, right? We'll see. Thank you now. Bye-bye.